All right, and we are back. Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Carolina Flex Start. Vern here, and then we got Big O also joining us. We're going to talk about South Carolina disc golf because that's what we like to do. And I'll start off by just kind of talking about what I've been up to, and then I'll hand it over to Owen. Just kind of look at my notes quick. Honestly, the main stuff that I've been up to in the past month, not a lot of playing, but a whole lot of coursework. Two courses in particular. There's a new course that I've taken a large hand in designing at this local European manufacturing place. I don't know what to call it. That SEW Euro Drive. It's beautiful property. It's really amazing. They've got more property than they know what to do with, and I was fortunate enough to be invited to come out and take a hand in designing the course out there and looking at Memorial Day to get that thing open.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. I think they're a German
Yeah.
automotive type company,
Mm-hmm.
or automation type company. Really cool, local business wanting another amenity on their property. Sounds like they've had interest from some employees to use some of their land that's out there. So, um, love to see it. That's going to be another course in the Spartanburg area, available to the players in that region.
Yeah, shout out to Sasha Rogers, who's he's out there working all the time. Sasha with a chainsaw is kind of dangerous, but it's also he's also doing good work. I mean, he'll just go out and it's really coming together pretty quick, and he'll just go out and lop down a bunch of trees, and then I'll go out when I can and help him drag and chop some other things up and stuff like that. We've had it laid out for a good while, and now it's just putting things in and then putting in baskets and tee pads, and then that'll be that.
Cool. That's
And then
exciting.
the other big coursework thing is my home course and one of our favorite local courses, Pipeline. I'll show some video and stuff of that later on in the podcast. But man, just to have that local course that's less than 10 minutes away back, um, and especially when some of the first things being talked about was a possibility of not coming back. And when you guys see the video, you'll say, "Wow, that is an amazing change." And not, I mean, I don't want to say not for the better. It just looks like, to be honest, looks like Godzilla walked through the course at that one section. But yeah, it's just great to have Pipeline back.
Yeah, that's pipeline closed due to Helene damage, and so that was
Hmm.
late September. So being without a course for 5 months, maybe almost 6 months, is a long time to be without your home course. So I know you're not the only one that's been waiting for pipeline back. Really excited to see some of that footage
Hmm.
in a little while from the before and after, because I saw some of the pictures of damage, and yeah, no reason why that first instinct would have been wrong to think that the course was gone.
Yeah.
So excited to see some of that. We'll talk more about that later.
So what's your past month been like?
Yeah, same with you. Coursework, been helping out at Pipeline, Tiger River, getting a couple of those courses back into shape from Helene damage, and then just overall cleanup. We found a lot out at some of those areas that way, and then tournament prep. So putting on my TD hat for the first part of the year.
Oh yeah, it's that
Here
time.
we've got the upcoming Spartanburg Spring Fling. It's going to be the ninth annual. Um, just one of my favorites.
The ninth?
I've Yeah, ninth annual Spring Fling. Love the TD history behind this event. You'll love it too. Jonathan Smith, first TD in
Mm.
2017. You as TD in 2018, and I've taken it since then. So this will be my sixth year as TD for this event,
Wow.
or seventh year for this event, and just lovely, lovely tournament to do. Woodruff has been involved every year for this tournament, and it's a great course for the AM. So love giving back. I love playing, but I love giving back and putting on a good event for the amateurs in our area as well, providing them that experience. So
Yeah. You probably know this, but Woodruff was actually the first tournament that I played in, and my wife Dawn played in. We yeah, we just kind of messed around for a number of years, just throwing frisbees and having no idea what was going on. And we're like, oh, we joined the club the December before, Um, and then that was our first tournament, and what a great experience! I beat Anthony Anselmo that tournament.
Hey, there you
That's
go.
not happened since then, but
I think I might have a couple of rungs on Anthony, but they were long, long ago.
yeah,
So,
craziness. But yeah, it's a yeah such a that tournament in Hub City AMs. I love the fact that we do two big AM tournaments a year with our local club.
yeah, they're AM focused, you know. It's good to highlight, you know, I know almost every tournament has pro and amateur divisions, but it's nice to take a step back for a weekend and say, you know what, we're focusing on you, the amateurs. I mean, Spring Fling, signups go live March 1st, so probably by the time you're hearing this, you may go see it. Go look it up on Disc Golf Scene and sign up. I really focus on low entry fees, and I don't see this across a lot of tournaments, but putting up a B tier that's only $30 to
Hmm.
sign up and play is kind of unheard of in the disc golf area. So having that cheap entry, a lot of local players like having that sort of thing. Most of them are playing for the PGA rated rounds anyways. They're not playing for the players packs or the prizes. So love that event. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a good staple in this area of the state. Cool. What else you got going on?
Not much. We can move over. We're gonna take a little sneak peek into how the South Carolina touring pros are doing
Oh
to
yeah.
start the year. We've gotten some early rumblings around in the pro tour area. Not much. Season hasn't fully started. That's kicking off as we're recording this weekend.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So that's the 2025 Discraft Supreme Flight Open starting tomorrow. So exciting! It's basically a full field out there. Um, be first test for our review in the podcast world, but
Hmm.
also first review for all these guys in 2025. So some of our South Carolina pros are almost all there. You've got Ryan and Jake Mon, Evan Scott's there with them, Ben Wolf, Micah Groth, Braden Size, Paul Ulibarri, of course, out there, and they've got the full field of Disc Golf Pro Tours players out there as well. So this will be the first test for them, and we'll see how they do.
Yeah, what a course too. Formerly known as Grand Canyon, with the Throwdown and Mountain tournaments. I had the pleasure of playing that tournament. It was literally the week that Paul announced that he and Dylan Cease were buying it. So when I got down there and we were starting out, the prevalent thought was, well, it's the last throw down the mountain. You know,
Yeah.
this after this, the course property is going to be sold off, and then that's it. They were done. And then you started to hear some rumblings, and we knew something was happening. And then that Saturday, it was like, or excuse me, that Sunday, they had the big press conference, or I can't remember which day it was, but they had the big press conference, and boom, whoop, there it is, and they
Yeah,
bought
I
the
know
course.
there's been so much about that course down there in the news and rumblings and the announcements from Paul and Dylan. So excited to see that place and that property back. And excited to see some of these guys take on the Pro Tour to start this season. I know there's
Hmm.
been some changes in manufacturers, and of course I'm sure a lot of folks' bags have changed in a bit. And then just the off season is a nice reset, so some people can come out hot into the new season.
Hmm.
Other than that, we did have an event in February that we had a couple of the South Carolina pros go out to, and that's the Visit Bainbridge Presents Reckoning on the River. Um, so that was a tournament out there, and we had Ryan and Jake Mon out there, and Evan Scott as well. Ryan took second out there, did some commentary for Ace Run Pro,
Hmm.
had a good weekend. Jake right behind him in third. So I think I don't know if this is going to be a trend of Ryan right above Jake. We'll see how it goes. As the year, I think Ryan's definitely stepping up and saying, "Hey, I'm right here with Jake. I'm no longer the little brother.
Yeah.
I'm right here with him." So I thought that was a statement, at least between the two of them.
Hmm.
I'm sure they have a running tally somewhere of how many times they beat each other, but
They had a great
um,
video. Speaking of Ace Run, it was basically a brother against brother,
I did see
kind of,
that. That was a really funny
man,
episode.
yeah, it was so good. They were giving each other such a hard time, but in a playful way, and both of them can just shred. But it was funny to see, spoilers at the end. Ryan ended up jumping into water, so that was pretty funny. But yeah,
Very
just
nice.
that's wholesome content right there.
Yeah, I think Ryan averaged 1040 for the event. Jake right at
Of course he did.
1033.
Mm.
So they both had a really great weekend down there, and that's a nice one to have under your belt and get on the back end of the ratings to start the season.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see Ryan and Jake and Evan and Micah and all these young guys that now they've got a year or two of the tour under their belt. So now it's like, okay, it's for realsies. Let's see what
Absolutely.
happens.
Absolutely. I'm hoping they're really settled in to this tour life thing, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be used to being on the road, used to the pressure of being at these tournaments, understanding the flow of how they're practicing during the week, how they're approaching the weekend. Those sort of things might just propel them to the next level. Hopefully, they start getting in the groove of this. So.
Yeah. Well, how's our AMs doing?
Super AMs, or AMs as we call it. We had not very many amateur tournaments that I really found of our South Carolina AMs that made a lot of movement um, happen in their rating area, but there was the fourth annual One Love Invitational out at Golden Grove.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Super AMs we talk about a lot. Alan Vasquez was out there. Interesting that I found when I was looking at this, because I initially said, "Oh, Allen played well out at this event." He played MJ18,
Mm-hmm.
which is a little different for Allen. He's been hopping in between MA1 and MPO from what I knew from last year. So he played MJ18, shot 10 down
Mm.
on the day. So 2 rounds combined. He actually shot even and then 10 under the next round on the same layout,
Dang.
which I think, I was starting to think Allen making that next step, maybe not quite ready for it with the big jump in between rounds. That's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, I think, an amateur quality, right? We'll see a lot
Yeah.
of
Consistency.
inconsistency,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he would have finished tied for second in MA1 though, so um, I think it'd be interesting to see why his choice was to play MJ18 instead of MA1 this go around.
I know he's been hanging a lot with Ava Lutsenko and Val, her dad, playing a lot. And it also, when I was looking for 1,000 rated rounds and aces and such for this past month, I remember seeing that and the fact that he played MJ18, and I think Ava did, and two, a brother and sister, or two sisters, something like that, came up from Georgia, highly rated under 18 players. So I think that might have been a thing. I think they know those guys from Georgia. So it was hey, let's all play together in one card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I can understand some of that perspective, that Allen is thinking, I'm going to play with who I want to play and just play my rounds
Yeah.
and not worry about the competition. He's playing for rating, he's playing for points for AM Worlds or Junior Worlds coming up anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
um, that makes sense.
Yeah. Going from one round shooting even and the second round 10 down. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
that's a big
yeah,
jump.
gotta get that consistency happening.
Yeah, that was a 946 and 1028 rated rounds. So that's quite a jump. Almost 100 points.
Yeah, but I guess you would expect that from someone. I don't think he's even able to drive yet. So that's
Right. Yeah.
a
Yeah.
cool. What else is going on with our Super Rams this month?
We could do a quick review of some of these rating stats. Take a look at it. Let me pull it up. That way our viewers on YouTube can see it. This is our MA1 stats for South Carolina, updated as of February 11th. So you'll see we've got a couple of jumps up here. You'll see this more often in the amateur group than the pro group. Some of these big jumps in ratings. I think that's M. Adams. I think it's Michael Adams. I think he's kind of from the upstate area. Uh, Looks like he played a couple of tournaments this early this year. Took a big jump for some of those
Hmm.
ratings. So shout out to him. Then we've got a couple of other AMs in here. Allen, of course, jumping up 4 spots there as well in his rating, and then of course our top 20 there in the middle with some familiar names in there as well.
Yeah. Davidson McMurray and Adam Mon, which I got to film at the recent Southeastern Collegiate Open, so that was kind of fun. Just as a side note, I had the weirdest comment. I dropped around one of that coverage today, and I had the strangest comment. Their only comment was, "Wow, is South Carolina 80% Mon?" It's like, it's
Yes,
quite possible. They seem
yes,
like they're everywhere at once.
it is. Basically everywhere you go, and somehow they're all amazing at disc golf.
Yeah.
You just see the name Mon on your card, you're like, oh no.
Yep. Well, this day's over.
Okay, playing for how many Mons are in my division? 2. Okay, I'm playing for 3rd.
Yeah.
We can
Sounds
take
like
a
some of
look
our.
at the MPO stats while we're in here as well.
Yeah.
Not a ton of change in here for the pros either. Like we said earlier, I think a lot of the season just getting kicked off for them. But these are all your South Carolina-based professional status players.
That
So
Ulibar
fair
guy's
amount
pretty
here.
good.
Yeah, he's rock solid up there at the top. What I love about Ulibarri too, he's not afraid to go and play his local events in Rock Hill and still throw
Mm-hmm.
down, right? You don't
Yeah.
see that out of all these players going and playing their C tiers at their local course and things, right?
Right.
Some of them are holding out for those Pro Tour events and protecting their rating, but I mean Ulibarri's been doing this for long enough. He could do it weekend in, weekend out.
Yeah. I mean, that's extreme confidence in your abilities. Doesn't matter if you're playing Olympus, like we're just talking about, or if you're playing Boyd Hill and Rock Hill, that's
Yep. Yep.
barely 4,200 feet long. It's
Yeah.
the same thing: drive and putt, drive and putt, drive and putt.
Yeah, Boyd Hill is probably what, like 6 holes worth of Olympus or something, right?
Maybe,
I don't know
maybe.
if we're pulling out the distances, but it's like playing half the round you would somewhere else. So
Indeed. Anything else happening on that side?
no, I think that is our updates. I think we'll stay tuned. I think March is going to be a big month. A lot of tournaments going on, warm weather to start coming around, the Pro Tour season starting. So excited to see this month and some of the movement.
Yep. The filming schedule is getting ready to be full tilt here. I'm starting to line up, so lots of coverage and lots of all sorts of things happening. Well, cool. We're going to switch gears here and then welcome our guest this evening. We've got Jeremy Hughes with us from Augusta, Georgia. I asked Jeremy to come on and be our guest this month because we became friends through me filming the Augusta Classic this past year, and then right after that, Hurricane Helene happened. So we were still in touch a lot, and he was sending me all these pictures and videos, and man, just I know we talked about pipeline a little bit earlier, but doesn't even compare to the damage that Helene did in Augusta and North Augusta. Jeremy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Awesome. Good to talk to you again, buddy. How you doing?
Man, not too bad. Not too bad. As I said, I'm getting ready to go full tilt with the filming thing. So I got had Southeastern Collegiate last weekend. Got Earlwood Classic coming up next weekend. So ready to hit the ground running,
I know if you're like everyone else, you're ready for that time change, aren't you?
dude. Absolutely.
It's the
I,
best
I
time of
was
year.
just mentioning that to Vern earlier, was that my 5 o'clock getting off work is not quite enough time for me to get to the course and get a full round in yet, but that time change will flip that over for me. I'll start being able to get those week rounds in. So
Oh, I can't wait.
So, if you would, Jeremy, just kind of give us a little bit of first give us a little bit of your background, and then kind of talk to us about what happened with Hurricane Helene.
Right, right. Well, like Vern said, we met for the Augusta Classic this past year, and Vern and I, we've kind of been around South Carolina for a while, and I've played in some of his tournaments, and he's been over into Augusta. But here lately, we just really started connecting online. And the last couple of years, I was president of Augusta Disc Golf, and that was a huge responsibility and something that was a big honor for me to be a part of. With the history in the Augusta area, and just over the last couple of years, just really getting to see our area grow, and really the whole state, and then Southeast disc golf in general. You showed that list a second ago of all those top players in South Carolina, and it was really cool to see several of my guys on there, like Braden and Martin and Jason Lynn, some of these other guys that are coming up through the ranks. But yeah, just this year I'm transitioning off to where I'm not the president of the club anymore, so I'm just a normie when it comes to doing the club stuff. But we got a great team in place now. You guys, I'm sure you guys know Tom Mack, and so oh yeah, and he and a couple other guys, and Kaylee, and they're a great team, and they've really taken over and really continued the work that we've been doing for the last couple of years. And I hated to do it because I had already made the decision that I was going to be taking some time off this year. But right when Hurricane Helene hit, we had about 3 months there where I was still on the board, and we were still kind of transitioning, and I felt bad that I was kind of leaving in a bad place, but really it wasn't a bad place because we have such a good team of leaders and volunteers in our area. But just a quick timeline, when the hurricane came, nobody expected it to come through Augusta. All the reports said it was going to go toward Atlanta. And so, nobody really expected it. I remember I woke up in the middle of the night and I was like, man, what in the world is all that noise outside, and trees falling everywhere. And it was sort of terrifying now that I look back on it. But, we had a solid 2 days where we had anywhere between 10 and 15 inches of rain. And the ground was just so saturated that when the hurricane came through, it was just uprooting trees just everywhere. In fact, I've got some pictures. If I can share my screen real quick. Let's see here if I can do that. So you can kind of see some of the pictures here. For example, here's a picture of Noah. I got this screenshot from a website you guys might be familiar with. But
vaguely familiar.
But Riverview Park, where we had these beautiful wooded holes, and just in a matter of overnight, the fairway went from beautiful and wooded to all the trees gone, and the baskets being crushed. Yeah, completely unrecognizable. And really, when you look through some of these pictures, it's a miracle that we didn't lose more baskets. Just because of the amount of trees that were everywhere. And you look at hole 3 at Riverview Park, and then you look at it now, and it's just covered with trees as far as you can see. And honestly, it's a miracle that even beyond disc golf, it's a miracle that more people weren't seriously injured in our area. And certainly our hearts go out to those people in Asheville, North Carolina, the mountain area, eastern Tennessee. I have a lot of family up there, and those people's lives will never be the same, and so your hearts go out to them, but it's just going to be a long healing process for everybody during this time, and both with disc golf, and you think of North Cove and all the places up there that got destroyed, but just looking at these pictures of our local courses, it's just it's heartbreaking, really, because these are courses that have been around for 30 years, and in fact, Riverview, this is the 30th anniversary of Riverview Park, and you see some of these baskets just got destroyed, and the fairways are just gone, and the trees are gone, and when you first look at it, you're like I said, you're heartbroken, you're sad, but then when you see the volunteers and the people who just disc golfers are great people. I can't say enough about them, and they come out just in force, man, and they're helping people with their houses, they're helping people in the community, and they come out and we say, hey, listen, we're going to get these parks cleaned up, and there's Braden right there. In fact, once we said, hey, listen, the park has given us permission to go out and do cleanup, and we were bringing in contractors and disc golfers that have heavy equipment. We're bringing it in, and just, they just kind of swarmed on it and just in full force. It was just amazing to see the teamwork and the love that these guys have for their community. And you look at some of these trees. This is at Lake Olmsted where we had the Augusta Classic last year. I mean, that tree was over 150 years old, and it's humongous. And just everywhere you look in our area, it's like this. All of our courses. And but again, I can't say enough about our volunteers and our team: Tom, Matt, Kaylee, Taylor, Ryan, Tom, all the guys, members of the Augusta Disc Golf Association. We even got the kids out there. Henry is, everybody's pitching in.
Yeah, I want to stress too, again, to folks that may be watching this somewhere besides South Carolina. This was not supposed to happen, as you said. All reports were, first of all, it came in late that it was going to be as strong as it actually was, and then second of all, it just turned on a dime, and it's hard to fathom something as big as a hurricane. Just it's going this way, nope, it's turning this way, and then there wasn't a lot of time to prepare, and not that you could prepare for something like that. I mean, it's just. Yeah.
No, what I really love here though, Jeremy, is it's just such a tragic and sad event that happened, but being able to twist that into something beautiful and heartwarming, that the disc golf community comes together and helps each other out, for the courses and the course restoration in their place of gather, right? That's where disc golfers go to hang out with their friends and to escape their work lives and their personal lives when they need it, right? That's their place of solitude, is the disc golf course. So for them to come together and pitch in all together to heal that place and thus healing themselves is really beautiful. So
yeah, it's awesome. And really, and I'll go ahead and just say this too, we can look at things in two different ways, and this is true with everything in life, I suppose. But you can look at it and be heartbroken over the damage and the amount of work that you're going to have to put into it and everything. But from the very beginning, I said we need to look at this as an opportunity. And oftentimes we always say, boy, I sure would like to make improvements, or sure would like to get some heavy equipment in and make some changes, pour some new pads. I wish we could change these lines around a little bit. And then all of a sudden, you're sort of afforded an opportunity to really start over with a clean slate and really build, not only to make it better for all players, but even make it better for the environment too. And a lot of the things that we're working on right now are trying to work along with some of the folks in the environment department to make sure that that our courses are sustainable and that we can have proper rain runoff and things like that. And so we're really looking at this as just an opportunity to really make things better.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, you're talking about courses that are how old? You're talking 30 years old.
Right.
I mean, the land changes so much time in that, so much in that time frame, and practices change on how to do rain runoffs and things like that. So, I mean, we've seen that with some of our courses that are not even that old. We've seen them with courses that are 10 years old, that a property line all of a sudden comes into play because we lost a couple of trees, or a creek overflows a couple of times and we think, wow, we've got to figure out the drainage on that part of the course better. And those weren't issues when the course was installed, right? So it is really nice to kind of be able to get that step back and think that, this is maybe an opportunity to change some of these things and improve it overall.
So let's talk about, we saw the pictures and we talked about what happened with Helene. So let's step on the other side of that timeline. So moving forward, and you had the volunteer effort, what about the official effort? What was it like to work with the local parks and all that official type of stuff? How did you make progress through that?
Yeah, boy, this is one of those things that if you're going to be part of a club, I really want to encourage you to pay attention, because there's some key elements here that are really important. And the first of one is, you've really got to have a good reputation and a relationship with your local parks department. And I can't stress that enough. And, go out, make friends with them. take them out to lunch one day. Walk them around the course and show them things. You pull up Great Courses of South Carolina on YouTube and show them some videos, and just let them know and show them what good that disc golfers can do for the park, for bringing in tourism and things like that. And one of the best things that we ever did over the last couple of years is we've really made a good relationship with a lot of the local parks folks. They come out and play. They bring their kids. They love disc golf. They see the value in it. They'll tell you right now, hey, more people come play disc golf than come use our tennis courts and racquetball courts, and they love that. And when you can sit down and when you can have this relationship with them, it makes it a whole lot easier later on down the road when you going up and say, hey, I could use a little money, or I need permission to bring in some heavy equipment. But I mean, over the last 3 years, I've been to county council meetings and meetings with the parks department, the mayor, and all these folks, the tourism department, and just basically just sort of sharing the gospel of disc golf, if you will, and just kind of building that relationship. And so by doing that, that's made things a lot easier. But having said all that, one problem is when you have a devastation like we have right now, their biggest concern is we want to get people's power on. We want to make sure people's houses are fixed. We got to get the roads cleared. And so, your local governments, they're working with the state, they're working with the federal government on trying to get all the things cleaned up. And so you have to be patient a little bit. And that was one thing that we had to work through, even within our group, is say, hey, listen, this is our plan. We've got it. We're planning to get things rebuilt. We're going to do it in a certain order. But, first and foremost, we kind of got to get people back in their houses and make sure everybody's safe and on their feet first. But working with the parks departments, it's really eye-opening if you've never done it before, because like I said, you've got to work with environmentalists, you've got to work with engineers, you've got to work with city planners, the tourism department, and there's a lot of give and take there. This is maybe you might want to use a little particular piece of land, but they don't really want you being there, so you've kind of got to change your plans a little bit, and that all comes down to having that good relationship with the park, and I'm thankful that we've, over the last couple of years, like I said, we've had a really good relationship with both North Augusta and even into the Augusta counties and their local governments. But I can't stress enough, boy, like I said, take them out to lunch, buy them a hamburger, and just be friendly to them, and that goes a long way.
Yeah. And so you talked about some of the how there's potential silver linings in this. So I want to kind of ask a two-tiered question. So talking about silver linings, what type of new possibilities did you see as the courses became clear, new lines, new opportunities for new holes? And then second part of that, who's doing the course redesign? Is that a club thing? Is that, how did all that work?
Well, to answer your first question, as far as the new lines go, that the hurricane kind of took care of that for us, because the old lines are gone by and large. But yeah, you look at a course that was built 30 years ago, and we were throwing, beat up rocks, discs that don't really fly like the way they do today. The technology is a little different. The skill is way different. And so, to be able to expand a little bit to make it fit a little better for some of the more modern equipment, modern play style, but at the same time, hey, we're looking at this course layout. We've got one tee pad and one pin. Let's put in a short, pad or maybe alternate pins, make it more accessible for juniors and beginners and folks who maybe don't have that distance in their arm anymore. Or maybe they only want to play a quick round after work and they don't have time to play the full long course. And so, things like that are huge. And it's just going to make your course, it's going to make people want to come to play your course. It's going to make it better for tournaments. And it's going to be able to allow more people to play it and enjoy the course. I mean, why wouldn't we want more people to enjoy the thing that we enjoy so much?
Right.
So.
Absolutely.
So, was it you guys doing the redesign? I just wonder, because what I've done, and then the designers that I know, it's usually like a one person vision, and then others might put that to work and like, okay, we can do this, we can do this. But I imagine it might be different when you've got a club or a board and that type involved. So how did that work out?
Yeah, for sure. Our board kind of came together as a group, and it's pretty much a board of directors decision where they're just getting as much input and information from the entire community, from the course or from the parks, and just really sitting down and thinking what's going to work best for the tournaments that we have, what's going to work best for the community, and it's kind of a group effort, really. We've got seasoned veterans, and we've got beginners, and we've got all kinds of people in our board and in our club that have great ideas, and we're taking all those into account. A perfect example would be Patriots Park, and for example, you guys probably have played out there before, and when the park came through and they added some new roads and some new ball fields, that caused us to have to change the course. Well, that all got changed around, so it got shortened a little bit, and it wasn't as long as it used to be. Well, after this hurricane came through, the course got, I would say it's probably every hole is completely different now. We've stretched some things out. We've made some new lines. We've changed some things, and Tom and the gang have done a great job redesigning out there. And we're happy to announce that we actually reopened this week. And
nice.
So we're looking forward to having the Ice Bowl there next weekend.
Very cool.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of talking about new lines. We even brought back some old classic things like some really tight downhill shots with a hanging basket.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's got that old school feel, but it's got a really fresh and welcoming new feel to it. So yeah, the group, but to answer your question, it's been pretty much a group thing, and we've had ideas for a rebuild for a long time, and now's the time.
Yeah. So just to clarify, you guys have got Lake Olmsted and Riverview and PK Pendleton King,
Right.
and Patriots. Am I forgetting anything? And
those are the main parks that we pretty much maintain. There are other parks in the area. Obviously, the IDGC is right around the corner.
right.
And they just released some pictures this week too. That was pretty devastating. If you haven't
Saw
seen
that.
those yet, but those are the main parks that we deal with. And ironically, each one is a different jurisdiction. So different county, different state, different city.
Yeah.
And so every time you go to a new park, you kind of have to, that relationship has to be there again, and you kind of have to work from sort of square one with each one. And you mentioned Pendleton King Park. We spoke with them this past week, and it was sort of lower on the priority for the city, so it's been locked up, and we haven't been able to get in there. But from what we understand, it's pretty bad there too. So there's going to be quite a bit of work that's going to need to be done throughout that whole area.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, this is the courses I named off in this area. This is one of the oldest hotbeds of disc golf in the U.S., especially on the East Coast. These courses have been. What's the oldest one? Is PK the oldest, or is it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what year was that put in? Do you know just off the top of your head?
Oof. Well, they say that they were out there throwing object golf at trees even all the way back into the early 70s. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, I played. One of the first things I played there, I just started playing MA50, and there's another guy playing, an older Asian American dude, and he said he'd been playing out there since that time. I was like, that's really cool. So we spent the entire round. He was telling me a little bit of the history, and on this hole they used to be like this, and yeah, it's really kind of cool. But yeah, just to kind of paint the picture for everybody, so they know that this is an area of historic importance, and it's I imagine when you go into each course and you have to do some designing, redesigning, all that, it's not a task that you take lightly.
No, in fact, even I think one of the most difficult things that you have to learn when you're working with a club is you have to respect the past and where you came from, and the guys that put in all the work and the history. You've also got to look toward the future and the people who are coming in, and so you want to take all of that and you want to combine it together, and you want to make sure that your community is bonded together, old, new, young, old, people who have been around for a long time. And so, we even reached out to a lot of the older guys that have been around for a while, and some of the guys who designed the courses originally, and said, hey, what are your thoughts? And this is what we're thinking. And so that's that community mindset again.
Yeah.
Just designing them to really bring the whole community around these redesigns.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to shout out, in the local Augusta area? Anything coming up? Any efforts you want to let folks know about?
Well, just keep I'll point everybody to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com /CSRA Disc Golf. And that's where we're going to be posting all of our news, all of our volunteer work days. If you guys want to come up and hang out in Augusta for a little bit on one of our volunteer days and help clear out fairways, we'd be glad to have you. We do have the Ice Bowl coming up. So that will be, that's one of the tournaments that we've been supporting for a very long time, and it's a great cause. And we're going to be back at Patriots Park for the first official tournament at Patriots Park. Now it is unsanctioned, but it's for charity, so all the proceeds are going to go to the Golden Harvest Food Bank, I think.
Very cool.
And so we'd love to have you guys. I think there might be a few spots still open, so register today if you can get in. Yeah, we're just looking forward to getting everything back and ready for the Augusta Classic coming in September.
Awesome. Very cool. Owen, anything you want to ask Jeremy before he heads out?
No, just that, Jeremy, you're not alone. A lot of our damage maybe not quite as bad as the Augusta area, but we've gone through, a lot of what you've talked about with local agency organizations and parks departments and trying to organize volunteers and things. So we're there with you and gone through a lot of the same things. So I think something I don't see as often, but probably something we need to do more is get some of these leaders from different areas together and compare notes and like you said, hey, this is what's worked for us. Having good relationships with the parks and taking them out to lunch and building those relationships has fostered growth and good things for you in that area. So good to share those notes and compare and contrast what's going well, what's not.
Very cool. Jeremy, I appreciate it, man. I know this was not easy for you to talk about, but I greatly appreciate it. I really wanted folks to kind of hear what was going on down there.
I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for everything you do, and keep up the good work with that camera.
Yes, sir. All right. So let me check the notes and see where we're at here. All right. So now we're at the great courses of the month section. Sorry. Yeah, that was a tough conversation, because I was, for me personally, I filmed there like not long, and I just finished the footage, but yet we weren't able to put out the videos from the Augusta Classic for some time because literally we were supposed to do that on a Friday night, and that's the hurricane hit right after that. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be able to do it. Looks like we might have some weather, and then
yeah, I can't imagine how those like I was mentioning, that's disc golf courses are places where we go to escape other things, and where we go to enjoy friendships that we have with other folks, and it's never easy losing those types of places and not knowing if they're ever going to be the same or if they're going to return at all. So I know that's not easy, and can't imagine for the folks there in Augusta.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and jump over to our great courses of the month. Selfishly, and I know I picked this one before you.
Yeah, you
wanted
stole
to pick
this one right from under me. I had this one on my list to do at some point, but you stole it from me. But a good time to steal it from me.
Yeah, I couldn't get away without talking about Pipeline this month. If you don't know, Pipeline's one of the highest rated courses on UDisc and other other places like Disc Golf Course Review, things like that. Is very well thought of, and it got hit pretty hard. It just what's has it been 2 weeks now that the course has been back open?
Yeah.
So I want to play a couple of videos. I'm going to do a before and after thing here.
Yeah, just a beautiful course, through the classic Carolina Woods type course. You've got some tight lines. You've got a lot of elevation changes out there. Just a wonderful course. I think you've got this kind of in the notes, but it's got 3 different sets of tee pads of layouts. Not 3 per hole. Some of them are combined, but having 3 available layouts to players out there really gives a good accessible area for all players. So
Yeah. So first I want to play a little bit of just to kind of show folks what the old original course looks like here. Just this is old hole 5, new hole 6. Just to show folks what's up with this. So if you can see right here.
Oh wow, I almost forgot what this hole looked like.
Yeah.
I haven't looked back at this footage or pictures of this layout and what this hole looked like. That is, yeah, it's going to be shocking to see this after photo. I completely forgot what this looked like.
You can see Lance, and you see all those trees there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then let me share this second video. This is what this thing looks like now. Sorry, folks, it's taking just a second here. And this is what it looks like now.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I think some of this, obviously, it's winter time, so you don't see the green leaves on any of these trees either. But you can just see the extent. I mean, look at the piles of trees there. For reference, some of those piles are taller than 6, 7, 8 feet tall worth of trees laid down on their side and stacked on top of one another. So
yeah, it's the first time I went out. Speaking of local parks and recs folk, Jonathan Smith, who is on our local board, and he's also our local. He works for Parks, Spartanburg Parks, and I went out to play with him. excuse me. On the Wednesday before a big work day, and I hadn't seen the course live and in person, and it just felt like I got punched in the stomach when we walked up there. It was just that area of the course, being able to look up and see the sun and see daylight was not a thing you used to be able to do. I mean, you saw from that first video, it was a covered area on the course, and now it's wide open. It's crazy.
Yeah, crazy, but fortunate at the same time that we were able to keep the course as a whole, and we were able to recover, get a lot of work done out there as well. That yes, the holes are different than they were. They look different, they feel different, and they play a little different, but that they're still there. They're still available to play.
Yeah, that's what I like to tell people when they're like, well, this has changed. This is bullet point number 1. Pipeline is here and open.
It's there. Yeah, it's there. You can play it. That's bullet point number 1. Everything else is secondary after that. So
refer to point number 1.
Sometimes it's good to step back and put a little bit of that into perspective.
Yeah. So what's your course here that you want to talk about?
Yeah, you stole mine, so I reached in the bag and highlighting one that recently was just talking about in a local tournament, and that's Golden Grove Farm and Brew. This is a nice wooded course in Pelser, South Carolina, so west of Greenville. And very nice course. It's on a local business's property there, and it's just been really interesting hearing some of the stories and community involvement there on that course lately that has kind of kept it alive. I think the business there went through some troubles with some of the new liquor laws and insurance laws
Yeah,
based
yeah.
around breweries and places that serve alcohol, and I know that it's been a staple, I think, in the disc golf community. They've supported disc golf. Disc golf has supported them, and it's been good to see the course is there, open. I think they're offering memberships, and you can play there with the membership to keep the course alive and playing. And I know there's been a lot of community involvement out there, setting up tee pads and installing new tee signs
Hmm.
and improvements out there. And it really is a wonderful course. I mean, it has a 4.3 rating on UDisc. It has some long and short layouts, so accessible to a lot of different skill levels, and just a very pretty property.
Yeah. Shout out to a couple people. I know James LeBob with I Got a Three. He's got a little shop there, a very small pro shop on site inside the brewery. And also shout out to Gabe Brown and all the folks with the Upstate Disc Golf Club who have just been out there working tirelessly, um, and doing things like you said, new tee signs, all sorts of work all around the course. Yeah, just kudos out to all the folks in the Upstate Disc Golf Club and anyone who is. Got to mention Steven Scoggins again. I mean Scoggins with the chainsaw. He's Johnny on the spot and making things happen. But he's not the only one. Plenty of folks have helped out there. So yeah, it's an awesome course. Excuse me. Very cool. So let's take a quick look here. Talk about 1,000 rated rounds and some aces from this past month. Couple familiar names again. So if you take a look at this, on the left hand side, 1,000 rated rounds for the month. We had 17 1,000 rated rounds in February. You'll see in green Alex Durham. Last time we talked, Alex jumped over the 1,000 mark. The most recent update, he's back down, but man, he's got 3,000 rated rounds this past month. That's going to help him jump
He
back up
he
over
took
the
that
hump.
to heart. He's I don't know exactly when those rated rounds came in February, but he really took that slight drop. I think he dropped to like 998, just
Mm-hmm.
right below the line. But maybe these few here will jump him back over. I see Alan Vasquez's Golden Grove 10 under round up there at the top as well.
Yeah.
Um, that's still funny. You can throw his 946 right there next to it. That was the same day.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, and then we got Ben Wolf, not surprisingly, with a couple rounds on there as well. And some other folks, you see Adam Mon, Lance Harden's on there. Even towards the bottom, we got Mike Mathis, also known as the Crusher, for those of you around the state.
okay, Mike going down to the Aiken County Open and getting a good round in there. I also see Strib Crump. He actually took down the Golden Grove fourth One Love Invitational in
Oh, yeah.
MA1, so that 1,006 led him there. Round one, I guess, got enough of a lead and held it
Mm-hmm.
from Adam there.
Yeah. And then I want to shout out, we only had 3 tournament aces this month, but 2 of them came at the same tournament, at the same round, on the same hole. Eric Anderson and Laney Evans, both at Smith Jones Park down in Conway, also known as the Boneyard. Shout out to Bone Beaupre, the course designer. He ran the Horry County Food Fundraiser, and during round 2, both of them aced hole 17. And then, of course, we had an ace at Sertoma Field during Ish Omer and Down South Discs Chili Chili Bang Bang. So, yeah, only 3 aces this month. But as we get more tournaments, I imagine that we'll have plenty more aces to go.
I'm sure.
And then I want to share a new thing. We decided we're going to do a clip of the month here. This is from my recent filming with college disc golf, which was just a blast, by the way. Well, I say that 50-50 was a blast.
A
Part of the time,
blast, or by blast, are you referring to the wind and rain that you were blasted by, or
oh yeah, yeah.
or the fun that was had while you were out there?
It was a great time, especially the last round. But but the weather was horrible. On the first day, this was out at Holston Creek. On the first day, it was so cold. The high was 41. It was raining sideways at some points. Everyone was completely soaked, and it took so long to play, partly because it's Holston, but also, I mean, we got through 15 holes, and that's all we could do. Zach Melton, who was one of the coaches with Tim Barr of Milligan University, he was with the car during round 3, and he said, with the exception of one round at Maple Hill years ago, that was the worst round of disc golf that he's ever been a part of. And that says a lot. Zach's been around for a while. All right, but the good things of it. So check out this. This is on hole 6. All right.
Yep, hole 6. This is the par 5, has the swamp along the right. This is the hole Ezra Robinson eagled in the Halloween Open one year. So this looks like the shot is kind of 2/3 the way down the fairway on the par 5, right at the top of the hill.
Yep, and this is Liam McWhorter from NC State. This is during the final round. And they were battling back and forth with Milligan University from Johnson City, Tennessee. And this is, they're laying 2 right here. All right. So Liam's idea, after talking to his friends, like, okay, I'm just going to lay it up and then someone else can run it. But this is what happens.
Let's see the layup. Oh, hits that root, takes an opposite kick up and into the basket.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
Giving it a shout out there. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Vern. I think I want to see a second clip. I think you know the one I'm talking about. I think I've got to see it.
Oh no.
I think it's worth seeing.
Let's see if I can track it down here. See, that was from round 3. I have to put my glasses on to find the file here.
I think you sent this one to me while you were editing some of the coverage. I think we've got to see it. I think the people want to see it.
Oh yeah, that's right before this one. Let me turn the sound down a little bit and fast forward. All right. So let me screen share this one here.
Yeah, Vern's working his magic here live.
All right, so a little bit of setup here. This is the highest point at Holston Creek. This basket for hole 14 is up on this mound, made even higher. And NC State has wisely laid up here to the bottom of the mound, and they got 2 shots to make this putt.
Yeah, this is the top of the property. It feels like 100 degrees in the summer, and it's probably the only place it snows on the property in the winter. It's so crazy. Gets all the... You can just see, look at the trees moving in the back from that wind, and the chains. Oh no. He left it a little high left. Little nose up. Wind pushed it right back. So they're playing in a doubles format right now, and so they're going to have a second go at this. Is this the same guy that threw in? Oh no. Oh no, just a little nose up, caught the wrong wind direction, and fell out to the left. So
yeah, that's tough. Oof.
I'm sure that wasn't the only shot of the day that got hit by the wind. I'm sure there's more of that. I haven't quite checked out. I think those videos coming out now on the channel.
Yes. So round 1 came out earlier today, and today being Thursday, whatever date this, the 27th.
February 27th. Yeah.
Yep. And then the round 2 and round 3 will come out over the weekend and then into Monday. Yeah, that was from round 3, and The weather was miserable, but I got to give it up to the college kids. They were not deterred. No one said, "I'm quitting. I'm out of here." There were no DNFs. They're like, "Let's keep going. We're all suffering out here," and that's some fighting spirit right
Love it.
there. That was awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, so a little preview. I can't wait to watch the rest of that footage. That'll be a good sit down and watch for me. Not only to see the collegiate competition there, but to also see Holston Creek in action. Just love that course, and any chance I can watch that course is a great chance to watch. So
yeah. Well, cool. Just a little preview of stuff that's coming up here soon. I'm gonna read off a quick list. I'm filming the 36th Earlwood Classic this weekend, the oldest tournament in South Carolina, at the oldest standing course down in Columbia. And then the weekend after that, I'll be doing the St. Patty's Sling again this year, filming in Walhalla. There's still spots open for that one if you want to get in that event. Other stuff around the state, we got South Carolina Doubles Championship, March 15th and 16th. Same weekend as the NADGT premiere in Lula, Georgia, the Chicken Coop. You'll play some Chicken Coop. Gabe Brown with Citadel Elites running the annual Big Thaw Open, March 22nd. Also that weekend, we have in Charlotte the Queen City Gambit. That's a really strong event. And then two other events. We got Hagood Day 2. This is on March 29th. Joe and Rob's running that in Pickens at Hagood Mill. And then last but not least, at the Naval Weapons Station in Charleston, Avery French, who was the TD of the Charleston Classic, is running the Commander's Cup. Naval Weapons Station is such a cool course. It's on
very cool course. I've played it as well.
Really?
I have a really funny story about the Naval Weapons Station. My family went down to Charleston for I think a weekend or some family vacation, and we thought, you know what? While we're down here, let's go play a disc golf course because we brought a couple with us. We had some downtime, so me and my dad said, you know what, girls, you can go shopping, you can go to the beach or whatever. We're gonna go play disc golf today. We found a local doubles thing going on. They were running it out at Naval Weapons Station. Your classic random draw doubles. We're the out-of-towners. We show up to Naval Weapons Station, and I give you one guess on who I got paired with. Out of town at a course I'd never played before.
Oh, were you paired up with your dad?
I got my dad, both of us playing this course blind, in random draw doubles.
That's funny.
Just a really funny and great. We had only brought a couple of discs with us, so we were playing with this was early on too. We maybe had a couple of trash bags of discs and played together. But we had a blast, and I loved that little Naval Weapons Station course. It was very enjoyable. So.
Yeah, that's a great little course. I played that with Ken McCullough, who I think he's retired Navy. If I'm wrong about that, he'll probably execute me or something. But no, but we met him. My wife and I met him on the course one day, and we got to play it. It was just a lovely time. Just a well designed little course.
Very nice.
Cool. Anything to add this month, Owen?
Nope, that's it.
Excellent. Folks, thanks for joining us for the second episode of the Carolina Flex Start, and we'll see you next time.